So before I take you through this short presentation, I just wanted to share with everyone that as a 16-year-old, I sat exactly where you are today many, many years ago. So I came to Chesterfield College straight from school as a 16-year-old student. And I think it's fair to say that further education colleges have the ability to absolutely transform lives. And I guess when I came here, it really changed my thinking on what I wanted to do. I was so inspired by the teaching staff that I went on and did my teacher training, and then went on to work all over the UK. Always lived in Chesterfield for various colleges, had my own training company. Came back to the college about 12 years ago to grow and develop our apprenticeship provision, and then became principal about 4 years ago. So I'm living proof that you can be anything you want to be. It takes an awful lot of determination and hard work and resilience. And it's not that everybody wants to be the principal of a college or the leader of an organisation. It doesn't matter, whatever level and whatever industry you choose to work in. It's just about being the very, very best that you can be. And we are privileged to have a fantastic team here at Chesterfield who are just as passionate about further education as I am. And they are all industry specialists, so they can harness that passion that you have for the area that you've chosen to study in, and they can really help and support you to shape a really bright future. And that is the purpose of further education colleges. So a warm welcome to you all, and I hope you have a fantastic year with us here at Chesterfield. On a final note on that, I'd just like to say that sometimes, in the first few days, particularly for first year students, can be quite daunting, that transition from school into college. And what I would say to you is, if you're thinking, I'm not sure I've made the right choice, I'm not sure that I'm on the right course, don't give up and disengage. Talk to the tutors, because there are over 1,000 different options on offer to students here at Chesterfield, from apprenticeship provision to different programmes of study, etc. So there is something for everyone. It doesn't matter if you've got it wrong or you think you've got it wrong. The tutors will support you to make a transition to another course, or will iron out any issues that you have as you're settling into college. The most important thing is that you share those concerns with your tutors and they'll help you. Okay, so as a senior management team, there are 5 of us on the team. So there's myself, David. You will see us walking around college. Please do stop us in the corridor. Part of me meeting with you today is for you to say hello and vice versa, so that you can stop me on the corridor. The best way that we can improve our services to the students and apprentices that learn and develop here is by hearing what they have to say and getting that feedback. So when things go wrong, tell us, and we'll try and put them right. Tell us what's working well, and it helps us to continuously improve, and those improvements are based on the needs of the voices of our students and apprentices. Keith is in an interim position at the moment, overseeing our finances. You'll also see a lot of Jackie around college. So Jackie works with the quality team, and she's responsible for supporting us to develop those standards of education and work with all of our tutors and lecturers to make sure that they can deliver a really fit-for-purpose, varied curriculum and help you fulfil those career goals. And then Craig looks after all of our human resources. So there are about 650 staff here at Chesterfield College, from cleaners, caterers, catering staff, facilities staff, security teams, all the way through to the teaching staff, and then the managers who look after the individual areas of the business. So it is a large organisation, and there is always someone who can help. It's so important that you take advantage of that knowledge and expertise and support. Then working with the senior management team, there are 5 main curriculum directors. Gavin is responsible for engineering and construction. Joe Kershaw is responsible for all of the other areas. So all of the vocational areas, including academic areas such as A-levels. Jenny looks after higher education, English and maths and adult provision. Nikki is responsible for our apprenticeships, and Joe Down is Director of Student Experience and Wellbeing. So Joe looks after all of student services, and we'll talk about that in a bit more detail in a second. And then working with the directors are a number of operations managers, curriculum operations managers who live in the heart of the area that they're responsible for. So do get to know, if you don't know already, who is your operations manager, because they are another port of call. It's another person to go to seek advice and support. And then working with the operations managers are all the teaching staff, fantastic lecturers and tutors who will be working with you every day and supporting you with the delivery of your qualification. Okay, so the college has a strategic plan. It has 5 strategic priorities. Our mission is inspiring futures, changing lives. So it comes back to what I was saying earlier in terms of what the college's purpose is to inspire futures, change lives. And underpinning our 5 strategic priorities are staff and student professional values. So these are the expectations that we have of our students who are learning here at Chesterfield College. The first one is about being positive. The second one is professional. The third one is all about progress and progression. So it's starting with the end in mind. The here and now is really, really important. But what's even more important are those next steps. And you may change track, you may change your mind about what your chosen career is, and we'll be here to support you. We've got specialist staff who are qualified careers advisors who can help and support you with progression. But progress and progression is also about, what do I want to achieve by the end of today? What do I want to achieve by half term? Where do I want to be in a year's time? So it's thinking about that ambition, being really, really ambitious for what you want to do and where you want to go. Performance we'll talk about in a second, and then the final one is about being present. So we know there is national and international research and statistics that state high attendance equals high success. If you are here, the majority of the time, and I'm talking high 90s to 100% attendance, there is a direct correlation to you being able to achieve higher grades and get the qualifications that you need, that puts you at the front of the queue for those apprenticeship opportunities, supports you to get into the university of choice, supports you to find a job with an employer. So high attendance is really important, and that includes anyone who's revisiting English and Maths. It's just as important that we attend English and Maths classes. Also, in relation to attendance, I think it's important that you support each other as a group. We know sometimes that you can't attend, so obviously if you have symptoms of COVID-19, you have the illness, you're poorly in another way, or there are real, obviously circumstances, genuine circumstances why you can't be here, then that's perfectly acceptable. But support each other as a group to aim for really high attendance so that you're working together. The second bullet point is probably the most important one today, and that's about considering others and being respectful. And I think it's really, really simple. So we're a large college community, and at any one time there could be 3,000-4,000 people who are using the college facilities. When we're at full capacity, we can have anywhere between 8,000 and 10,000 students because we've got apprentices all over the UK. So the college is much larger than just its base here in Chesterfield. And if we just recognise and accept that we're all different, every single one of us is unique. We're a different age, we're from a different background, potentially a different culture, have different beliefs. So long as we respect each other for the difference between us, then everything will be fine. It's when we use those differences negatively that it becomes an issue and it becomes offensive to someone. So we do ask that everyone is respectful of each other and that we celebrate that differentiation between us all as human beings. Being a positive role model, you will really support each other and you will achieve more if you work together. So in your groups, do work together, challenge each other, be positive role models for each other. Be positive role models for the industry that you want to work in, particularly when you're out on work experience. And also think about being a great ambassador for the college. I receive lots of calls from local businesses and from the local community. I receive letters telling me how fantastic the students are at Chesterfield College. They may have been out on a work placement, they may have done a community project, they may have done some volunteering. And this local community really celebrates and values the students of Chesterfield College. When you're out and about wearing your lanyard, you are an ambassador for the college. So it's really important that we're all proud to be part of our great organisation. Shape your future, it's in your hands, aim high. This is all the performance elements of those 5 Ps. It's about trying that little bit harder. Spend an extra half hour on that assignment. Call one of your friends, set up a WhatsApp group or Instagram to support each other with homework, etc. It's really important that you work together and always aim to do the very best that you can. Okay, in relation to COVID, it's a controversial one, isn't it? We know that because the government have relaxed at the moment many of the COVID regulations. However, they are still recommending that we wear face coverings in crowded environments where we can't socially distance. So we're asking students and staff, unless they're exempt, to please wear a face covering, consider wearing a face covering in communal areas. So that's the reception area, the heart space, corridors, toilets, the staircases and the lifts. And that's because it's very difficult to ventilate those areas and it's very difficult for us all to socially distance. And we know that this disease transmits when we're all crowded together in confined spaces with little ventilation. So please adhere to all the hygiene rules and regulations, washing hands, using the hand sanitisation stations and wearing your face mask, please, in those communal areas. Also, if your tutor deems that the situation potentially is unsafe, so you might all be grouped together looking at a piece of machinery or doing a particular task, they may well also suggest that you wear your face coverings. Also, as it gets colder, it's going to be less likely that we can have all of the windows open as the winter comes. So again, it's just out of respect for each other. We do have, as I said earlier, staff and students who are really highly vulnerable, and this disease is very unpredictable. I think because if we're not, sort of over 50 and we haven't got an underlying health condition, it's easy to think, young people, that it's just, I'm not going to even know I've got it. There are cases where people without any underlying health conditions are getting still seriously ill. So again, just out of respect for others, for this first few weeks, we can just wear our face coverings. We'll review again at half term. Lanyards. So all staff wear a grey lanyard and all students wear a black lanyard, apart from higher education students who wear a pale blue lanyard. 2 reasons why we ask you to wear lanyards. The first one is because all of the buildings are access controlled. So in order for you to move from one building to the other, you will need to wear your lanyard. And the second and most important reason is that it identifies anyone in the college who shouldn't be here. So if we notice that someone's not wearing the lanyard, we will ask them why. And if it's you, we will ask you to politely pop your lanyard on for us. And that helps us. It's an extra measure to prevent someone entering the organisation with the intention of causing harm to our students or harm to staff. So please do wear your lanyards. We respect that some people make the choice to smoke and vape. It's a perfectly natural choice for some people to make. It's a democratic society, and therefore we are respectful that people sometimes choose to smoke or vape. However, it is a non-smoking campus, and there are 3 designated smoking areas that we ask you to use. The first one is at the back of the sports hall. The second one is just at the back of this building before you go over to the A-level centre, and the third one is under the arches of the South Block Tower just before you go into the car park. We would ask all staff and students not to smoke outside the front of the buildings or any other buildings, partly because it doesn't look too professional. Sometimes large groups of students gather. That prevents us from being able to evacuate should we need to in an emergency. So we are fully respectful of people's choice to smoke, but please use the designated areas. Using college facilities. So the ones of you who have been here before, but for new students, as you start to walk around, you'll begin to realise how big the estate is, and it's quite easy to get lost in the first few days. So please do ask a member of staff if you're struggling to find your way around, because it is a bit of a maze. And it does cost us an awful lot of money and time and effort. A lot of the buildings are old, and for the ones of you who follow what's happening in the national press, you'll be aware that for a number of years there hasn't been reinvestment in schools and colleges and other public services, so therefore funding is tight. So we want to be able to spend whatever funding we have on improving the facilities. So I'm just going to ask you a question. How much do you think it costs the college in lighting and heating? So what do you think the electricity and the gas bill is for the college for 1 year? Any offers?
Is it £1 billion?
It's a good try. Yes?
£1 million?
Okay, it's another good try. Any other offers?
70k?
70k. Any other offers? Put your hand up if you think that it's more than £100,000. Okay. Keep your hand up if you think it's more than 200,000. 300,000. 400. 500. 600. £600,000 a year on lighting and heating. So what we're saying is, please look after the facilities, they're there for you. Okay, leave the classrooms clean and tidy. If you're using laptops and any equipment, make sure you take care of it. There's nothing pains me more when we have to replace things because someone's intentionally broken them or damaged them. It doesn't happen very often, but it's just that polite reminder that these facilities are there for you, and we want to be able to invest in new facilities rather than having to repair the ones that we already have. When you're in the heart space, we ask you to clear away your cups and plates, etc. There's plenty of bins and racks for you to put your plates if you've had hot food at lunchtime, and then it creates this fantastic, clean, vibrant learning area for everybody to enjoy. In terms of professional behaviour, so part of a college's role is to prepare you for work and life. And when you walk into the main reception, just really take notice of how professional and clean and smart it is. And we try to replicate that, even though some of the buildings are very old, across the whole of the college, because it should feel like you're walking into work. It's up to us to try and replicate that environment. And that also means the professional behaviours as well. So we will challenge any unprofessional behaviour, and we will challenge any inappropriate language, because that wouldn't be acceptable in the workplace, and we have to, understandably, prepare you for work. It's not just about the qualification, it's all the other skills and behaviours that you will be required to eventually secure a job, depending, of course, on the progression route. So we're here to prepare you for employment, support you to get an apprenticeship, go on to higher education, progress to the next level. It's all there, but just remembering that it is that partnership between you and the college. Okay, so quickly moving on, our two main hubs in the college to support students. The first one is currently called the Careers and Employment Hub, and it's as you go up the stairs, just on the right-hand side in the heart space. We're going to change that to student and apprentice services so that all generic inquiries can go into that particular hub. The signs are on order, so they should be up shortly. So anything around bursary, financial support, travel, UCAS applications for university, if you're looking for work experience, apprenticeship vacancies, careers advice and guidance, any general inquiries, anything that's a general inquiry. If you pop into this hub, there will be staff who are specially trained to help and support. And then the wellbeing hub is along the central block corridor towards South Block, just on the right-hand side before the lifts. We know through the pandemic that an awful lot more people have struggled with their mental health and their emotional well-being. So the Wellbeing Centre is a quiet place to go if you just want to have 5 minutes to sit quietly. There are trained counsellors in there. If you have any safeguarding concerns, you're concerned about yourself or another member of your group, you can go along to the Wellbeing Centre. It's all treated confidentially and you'll be able to get the support that you need. Maths and English. So again, another statistic. It's a proven fact that maths and English can be the biggest barrier to progression. So if you haven't achieved a minimum of a grade 4 at GCSE or equivalent, then you may well be revisiting, or you will be revisiting maths and English. It's so important, folks, that you attend these classes just as much as you attend your vocational classes. So if you, at the end of the course, there are two of you wanting to go for an apprenticeship vacancy, and one of you's got the maths and English as well as the qualification, the employer will choose the individual with the maths and English. It's something that employers really value. So please do attend. It's on the 6th floor. We've spent an awful lot of time and effort listening to students to create a really vibrant and adult learning environment. A lot of the teaching and learning is being contextualised now, so that you're learning about things that are in your vocational qualification. It's so important that you attend your maths and English and get that attendance as high as your attendance in your programme. Lots of other activities and facilities, colleges opening up. There's lots of things for you to get involved in. You'll be picking reps. You'll be picking reps in your groups. The student council will meet with me, so that's student voice on a regular basis. There's lots of healthy lifestyle projects to get involved in, and of course you can join the student union. And student union means that you'll get lots of discounts in shops and cinemas and food and car insurance, all sorts of things. So please do join the student union. Okay, so we talked about facilities. So thanks to some investment from the local skills partnership, we have developed a new music centre and recording studio. Some of you may have heard some of the students playing down in the Heart Space at lunchtime. Absolutely fantastic. So that's a state-of-the-art music recording studio. So in the last couple of years we've started delivering music technology. The library has now moved. It was where the Digital Skills Centre is. If you've not been to the library yet, tutors, if you could take students over there. Some really fantastic quiet spaces in which to learn. It's a brand new facility. Cafe Central was based on that feedback from students. Students were saying, we'd like an alternative to the normal refectory. We'd like more grab and go style food, a bit more like Subway. So we've created Cafe Central. You can get fresh salads, fresh sandwiches down there. So please do visit Cafe Central. Taste Restaurant we've refurbished, so this is the training restaurant for our hospitality students. If you fancy something really special, they do a takeaway service, so whatever food they've prepared in the morning, they sell at lunchtime. It's fantastic. Many of our students go on to work in Michelin star restaurants, and you can pop up there and get a takeaway on the first floor of the South Block. And then the most exciting one is the development of the Digital Skills Centre. So this is a brand new state-of-the-art facility for every single student to use, and it's full of the latest high-tech kit that will really support you in terms of your learning, but also in terms of your digital experience and digital skills development. So we have kit in there where you can put on the 3D goggles, virtual reality kit, you can dissect a heart, you can build a house and print it on a 3D printer, etc. Really fantastic state-of-the-art technology, and I hope that you will enjoy that new facility. It is fantastic. Okay, so programme of study. Most of you are on a programme of study. Obviously, adults will be working towards a main vocational or academic qualification. Then you've got the English and Maths, and then we've got the Aspire programme, which all our students undertake. And our Aspire programme is a tutorial programme. So it covers things like safeguarding, prevent, which is all about supporting individuals not to be radicalised. It talks about British values. It will also cover some of the skills that you'll require in work, such as communication, teamwork, resilience, etc. And we'll also be doing quite a bit of work this year on peer abuse, which is something that we've probably seen in the news. And the government now have made it part of the curriculum. So some of these behaviours have become normalise, calling people names on a regular basis, making comments about the way that someone dresses or the way that they look, or something that might be just done, not with any malicious intentions, but it's really offensive. So we are looking at, that's minor. There are obviously much more radical ways that people do operate in terms of peer-on-peer abuse, and it's something that we need to tackle as a society. So we will be doing some work on you about that. And then you will all be offered an industry placement. It is part of the study programme now, so you get to go out into industry and really taste what it feels like to be in the industry that you've chosen. Or it could be that we have guest speakers in and we do live briefs and live projects with employers, but the majority will go out on a work experience placement this year. And then finally, just recapping, start with the end in mind, be thinking about that career plan, have those conversations with tutors. Make sure that you take full advantage of any professional placements or work experience. The Inspire programme is that tutorial programme, you'll be doing lots of that during induction. And then the LEAP mentors, so learning, engagement, achievement and progress mentors. So these mentors, there's one in each area. Do find out who your LEAP mentor is. We introduced it just over a year or so ago, and it's been fantastic. They are another go-to person. They'll support you if you're having any issues. They'll support you if you've got any concerns. So they're all specially trained. They live in each curriculum area, and they're there as that extra person to go to for support. And then finally, just remembering to access all of the learning resources and support available to you whilst you're here to make the very, very best of the time that you have those in college. And then finally, every accomplishment starts with a decision to try. You've made that decision, you're all here. We will support you. If things go wrong, let us know. We'll do everything we can to put things right. So I hope you have an absolutely fantastic year. That's it from me. And I look forward to catching up with you this evening at college very, very soon. Thank you, everyone.